England, South Africa. One defending champions, one perpetual challengers. Both teams not short on power, but do they have the bowling in conditions that exist in the Caribbean? Let's look at some of the other sides then at this T20 World Cup. The sides that have been announced, by the way, some have chosen not to. So let's start with the defending champions, then England. How many of you remember that England are defending champions, by the way? These T20 World Cup, they keep creeping up at you like the trains in Mumbai. Just stand long enough, another one comes by. So England are defending champions, but I also think they've put together a squad that's so full of power. It's a very modern, very contemporary kind of team, which is full of people who'll go bam, 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 right from the beginning. I mean, we here in the IPL, we've seen the power that Salt and Jacks have. One opening the batting, one batting at 3, because then Butler slots in as the other opener. It does something very interesting to the dynamics of the side. Salt likes to go hard, Jacks likes to go hard, Butler likes 10 balls in between. So these two, sandwiching Butler, are going to give him the time to play himself in before he goes bang, bang. Then you've got Brook, Livingston, Bairstow. I think only 2 of those 3 can play. Moeen Ali and Sam Curran. The first thing that strikes you when you look at all this is your first left-hander comes in only at 6 or 7. Now, in the modern game, you want to play 65-70% of your balls at least with a left and right hand combination batting together. So maybe Moeen will go up at 4, Brook, Livingston come back down, Curran at 7. But I don't know if England will use Moeen like that. I've always said that CSK use Moeen better than England do. But I think in this case, they would have no option but to send the left-hander up. But it's a very, very powerful batting lineup. I only hope, for England's point of view, that the pitches are conducive to that kind of cricket, because otherwise I think it's a lineup that will struggle on slowish pitches. But talking about pitches, talking about islands, listen, England know that part of the world very well. England go to the West Indies and always play in the pretty islands. England play in Barbados. England play in Antigua, which are big tourism islands. The huge traveling population from England that will come across to watch will go to Barbados and will go to Antigua. So from that point of view, they will be absolutely at home. And remember, those are also not the games where the giant Indian population will be hitting the buy button as soon as it comes on. So I think they'll have that kind of support. Will the bowling live up to that support? I'm not so sure. Everybody's excited with Jofra Archer. He's played very little. They're talking about how quick he's bowling in the nets, but we've been saying that for 3 years now. I love watching Archer play, but I think he's absolutely central to England's chances of winning this World Cup, because you take Archer away and what you have left is Jordan, Wood, Topley, Curran, Moeen, Rashid, and the very inexperienced Hartley. No surprise in that selection, but very inexperienced. It's a bowling lineup that can travel a lot. It's a bowling lineup where Butler can start looking around for the next option very, very quickly. So Archer has to play in that squad. The moment he does, you can play Archer at 8, you can play Jordan at 9, and that just strengthens the batting lineup very much. Can England go and win it? I think if you get 210, 220, 225 kind of pitches, then yes. But if you're playing slowish pitches, then I'm not as certain about that England side. Now let's move on. Let's look at South Africa. Have never won a major ICC tournament. Do they have the squad to win it this time? Once again, it's a batting lineup that is full of power. You look at Quinton de Kock, Ryan Rickelton, and Reza Hendricks to open the batting. You've got enough left-handers there. You've got a right-hander there as well. Then you've got Markram as captain. Very good player. But remember, coming out of a poor run where he's actually been dropped by the franchise side that he believes is his own and to whom he's delivered 2 titles in South Africa. But Markram is coming off few runs. Then the power starts. David Miller, Heinrich Klaassen, Tristan Stubbs. So they're not short on that, on a good batting surface. They get a good start. They give Stubbs and Klaassen the license to go, and Miller as well. They could score any number of runs. Much like England, if it's a slightly sluggish surface, 160, 170, I'm not as convinced about South Africa. But here's something interesting that happens after that. It's a problem that we in India understand very well. Jadeja bats at 7 most times, and the batting ends there. South Africa, the home of all-rounders. Over the years, the home of the seam bowling all-rounder. And in the early days, all their spinners batted. But now look at this side. Marco Jansen has to bat at 7. because there is no other bowler who bats. If Jansen doesn't play, then you've got Rabada at 7 or Kudzia at 7. Maharaj at 7, maybe. Now you're struggling a little bit. So Jansen has to bat at 7, and then the rest of the balance looks after itself. But much like every other side in this tournament, a side that is just genetically in its genes and its DNA, the home of hard seam bowling, has gone with many spin options. Everybody's reading the conditions in the West Indies similarly. So there's Maharaj, there's Shamsi, and they've also gone with Beyond Fortin. So they've given themselves enough options. I like the pace options that they have. There's Rabada, there's Kudzia, there's Nokia. I know they could travel. They're coming off a tournament where they've conceded a lot of runs. But I just think in a South Africa environment, I think that's a pretty decent side. Can South Africa go on and win it? If they have the belief, if at every situation they're not saying, oops, what can go wrong? They definitely have the ability to go far. But as I've said in all my other blogs, any one of 6 or 7 can. We're going to be doing a lot of interesting things on this channel. So do like, do subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you.